Today I'm going to be going over every single Procreate gesture in a quick guide, including those for the new Hover Apple Pencil. So the gestures you're probably going to be using the most is undo and redo. Two-finger tap will be undo. So if you draw something you didn't mean to and you just want to get rid of it really quickly, you can just tap with 2 fingers to get rid of it like that. You can also tap with 3 fingers if you did undo something that you want to come back to redo. 2-finger undo, 3-finger redo. Pinch to zoom and rotate gestures. So not only can you pinch to zoom in and out, but you can also pinch and twist to rotate your canvas and get it exactly where you want it to be for drawing, like so. Now, if you quickly want to bring your canvas back to fit your full iPad screen as well as reset your rotation, you can do a quick pinch, which you take 2 fingers, pinch in and lift very quickly, and it will bring your canvas back to where it was at the beginning. Speaking of bringing your canvas back to full screen, if you tap with 4 fingers, you will toggle the full screen view, which will hide all of your toolbars and all of that stuff. Another gesture that's kind of hidden is precise slider control. So if I come in here and grab, let's say, this 6B pencil right here, and I want to adjust the size or opacity, but in even smaller increments, normally you can tap and drag on the bar right here, but if you tap and then drag your finger over to the right and drag up and down, you can see that my slider is moving extremely slow compared to where my finger is. So that gives you more precise fine-tuning of these sliders on the side of your screen. When you tap this little button on Procreate, you'll open up your layers. And obviously you can tap between which layer you have selected and you're drawing on with 1 finger. But if you swipe left, you'll bring up delete, duplicate, and lock. And if you swipe right, you can select multiple layers at once to delete all of them or group them. Another thing you can do is just tap a layer with 2 fingers to bring up the opacity control, which then hides your layer menu, and you can swipe left and right on your screen with 1 finger to adjust the opacity of that specific layer. Another thing you can do with 2 fingers is swipe to the right, and that'll toggle alpha lock. And what alpha lock does is it makes it so you can now only draw where other contents already exist in the layer. So you can't draw on transparency anymore. So if I was to draw on this color layer right here, see, it'll only go over where there was already color. And then the last thing you can do with 2 fingers is if you tap and hold with 2 fingers, you'll actually select all of the active contents within that layer. So similar to Alpha Lock, where it'll only let you draw on that, this is a way to create a selection based off of what is in your layer. So you could even make that selection and then draw on a separate layer like this, and now you didn't destroy that original layer, but you still fit within the bounds of that drawing. Quick Shape is a function within Procreate to help you draw more rigid shapes like ellipses, squares, triangles, and even straight lines. The gesture for that is actually to hold. If you draw a line and hold at the end of it, it will quickly straighten it out for you. This also works for circles. If you draw a circle and then hold at the end, it will snap it into an ellipse, as well as a square. If you're drawing something that could be interpreted as multiple shapes, like an ellipse versus a perfect circle, after you hold, you can tap the top of the screen right here and toggle between which of those you wanted and even adjust it from there. Next up are gestures for your hover-enabled Apple Pencil if you have an iPad Pro with that feature. I'm gonna select a larger brush so you can see that preview. So I'm hovering right now and you can see that is showing a preview of the size of my brush. And there's a few things you can do here if you want to not use the sliders on the side of your screen. I never use these, but if you do want to use them when you're hovering, you can pinch to change the size of your brush, or you can slide your finger to change the opacity of your brush. Another useful benefit of this is that you can hide your interface and go into full screen and still change the size of your brush and the opacity of your brush. Speaking of Apple Pencil, if you have anything but the very first Apple Pencil, you will have double tap support on the pencil itself. What this will do is it will swap between your brush and your eraser. So double tapping on your pencil will just swap those tools out for you. And on the newer pencils, you'll even feel a little bit of feedback there. It'll like rumble a little bit. Another feature of the newest Apple Pencils is you can squeeze the pencil to bring up a quick menu. You can adjust this quick menu in the settings to be however you would like it to be, but by default, these are the settings within the quick menu. And if you squeeze just quickly, it'll bring up and it'll stay there, and then you need to squeeze one more time to make it go away. But if you squeeze and hold, it'll go away as soon as you let go of your squeeze on your pencil. If you'd like to go in and adjust your gestures, you can always open up the settings up here and go into preferences and select gesture controls. I'm not gonna go over that today. If you do want to learn more about that, I have a beginner guide for Procreate on my YouTube channel. So be sure to check that out if you wanna know more about Procreate overall and other things you can do there. But that's every gesture in Procreate. If you think I missed anything, be sure to let me know, and I'll see you next time. Bye.